Hi, it's Danny, Careers Advisor at C&K Careers. Welcome to today's video, which is all about CVs. So what is a CV? Well, a CV is an overview of what you're good at and what experience you have. It's what an employer will use to decide whether they want to give you an interview. So it's important that you get it right because first impressions count. So what should your CV look like? Okay, make sure the font is something simple and professional looking and easy to read. So think Arial or Calibri or my personal favourite, Verdana, which is what I've used here. Same applies to the colour scheme, so make sure the font is black, and if you are going to do something different with your headers, make sure that they are not too different or out there. And also make sure it's on white paper. So how long should your CV be? Try to keep it to one side of A4. Employers are going to see a lot of CVs, so they don't want you to bore them with information. Keep it concise, and if you want to bullet point your key skills and interests, that's fine. If you do go onto another page, make sure it's 2 pages maximum. So what do you need to put in your CV? Well, you should have 7 separate sections, and I will go through them one by one for you now. So the first thing is your personal details right at the top of the page. Make sure that they're correct and up to date because you need to be contactable. Make sure you put your name, your mobile number, a landline number if you have one, and your email address. Make sure your email address is professional sounding too if you need to register a new one. Sometimes you can add other information here as well. So if you've got a blog or a website that is linked to the job that you're applying for, then you can also put that in this section. Okay, so the next section is personal profile. This is where you're telling the employer who you are and why you'd be great for the role. It's a brief overview of what kind of person you are and why they should read the rest of your CV. It's your opportunity to tell them about all the things that you're good at. So you need to do your research. Look at the job specification and look at the skills that they're requiring and talk about those. Another thing you can do is look at other jobs in the same industry to get an idea of the skills that the wider industry is looking for. For example, if you're looking at a job in retail, things like customer service and communication skills are a must. So underneath your personal profile, you need to list your key skills. Doing this by bullet point will allow employers to find them quickly, and it'll also help them stand out on the page. Okay, moving on to education and training. This is where you list achievements from school or college. Start with the most recent at the top and work backwards. So, for example, put any college qualifications before you put your GCSEs. You need to put the dates that you got your qualifications, what school or college you got them from, and the grades that you got. If you don't have any work experience, it's quite useful to list some of the modules that you studied here because it will give employers a good idea of the things that you've been learning that are relevant to the job. Okay, next up is your work experience. Okay, here's where you list the previous work experience that you've had, so full-time jobs, part-time jobs, work placements or voluntary roles. Again, you need to start with the most recent at the top and work your way backwards. First, you need to put the dates you were in the role, your job title and what company it was that you worked for. Then you need to give a quick overview of what you did in the job and what skills you needed to do it. Also try and end this bit with something positive that you achieved whilst you were in that role. So for example, if you were good at hitting targets. Okay, so on to other information. This is where you can talk about things that you do in your own time. Going out socialising, going to the cinema and seeing your friends probably isn't going to help you get a job. So think about things that you do that might relate to the role that you're applying for. So if you have a keen interest in cars, for example, and you're applying for a job in a garage, that's a pretty useful thing to tell them about. Also, you can think about things that you've achieved. So, have you run a marathon, or have you raised a load of money for charity? Because things like this will A, show you in a good light, and B, show that you're dedicated. Last section, references. Unless a job advert specifically asks for a reference, the best thing to do here is just to put available on request. Employers are not going to check your references until they've interviewed you, so to put on your CV isn't that necessary. Finally, the thing to remember with a CV is that it will accompany you right through your life, so you need to make sure you keep it up to date. Things can change quickly in life, and you need to be prepared to take advantage of these changes, and an up-to-date, well-made CV will help you do that. So I hope you found this video useful. Don't forget to check out the other videos in this series, and as always, for more information, visit our website. Bye for now.